Okay! Hello everybody! It's Michael here, and I'm gonna do an interesting video. You guys remember from last year, or was it 2 years ago, that a really popular trend blew up on Twitter or something that was called the Disney bracket, where you would pick your favorite Disney movies and put them in, which one is better. This time, I did the same thing, and this is kind of like a competitor to the tier list trend that is going on right now. So what I did is the NHL bracket challenge, where you would pick your favorite NHL games and put that from your worst to your favorite, or whatever it is. So as you can see, there are a lot of games in here, and I have tried every single one. And of course, we don't have you can't divide anything else. What am I trying to explain? But there isn't 32 entries in the series yet, so there are a few not available spots. So, for example, if NHL 12 or 13 goes forwards to the next round, it's automatically gonna go to the next round since there isn't a competitor right now. But once NHL 20 comes out, it's gonna fill one of these spots. So as you can see, there are every single NHL game in here, from the very first, from NHL Hockey up to NHL 19. So we're gonna do this NHL bracket challenge, and you're gonna see what are my opinions for every single NHL game. So we're gonna go through all these rules that I wrote down here. Oh, I forgot one thing. You can download a PNG of this if you want, and then you can go make your own version and maybe put it to Twitter and maybe put a hashtag EANHL bracket. So anyways, let's go through the rules. The rules are simple. Pick the NHL game you prefer from the pair they're matching up against. So for example, if NHL 08 and NHL 09 goes each other, you just pick which one do you think it's better, NHL 08 or NHL 9. So that goes to the next round, and then if NHL 16 or NHL 17 is better, you pick one of those, and then then either NHL 09 or 08 goes against either NHL 16 or 17, and so on. That's how brackets work. Number 2, draw a colored line through the route to keep track, route or route, whatever. So basically do a colored line so you can keep track how far it has gone, like that. Like that, so you know which one goes to the next round, etc. Number 3, type your preferred game in the next round and so on. Like, for example, if I put NHL 08 to the next round, so in order to keep track, let's just type in NHL 08 in here. Right there. So NHL 8 is now in the next round. Of course, I put this only in numbers, so it doesn't look too small or whatever if you put the full logo. So it's just 08, 09, but you know what I'm talking about. It's NHL 08, NHL 9, etc. Number 4, the game can be console specific if you want. So for example, if we take NHL 96 versus NHL 97, we can either talk about the PC version of NHL 96 or the SNES version of NHL 97. You can go with every console you want. For example, is there a next gen version I prefer or not? Let's see. I can't seem to find any. No, I like it. But you know what I'm talking about. If you prefer, like I don't know. I don't know how to explain this, but if you prefer the Xbox 360 version of NHL 07 over this version or whatever, vice versa, it can be any version of the console if you want. And then number 5, if you haven't played a certain game, just skip it and let its opponent move to the next round. So what it means is that if you haven't played NHL 12, for example, and have played NHL 13 instead, it automatically moves to the next round. This is only if you haven't played a certain game, or But if you haven't played neither of these, just skip this whole thing and you know, let's take another example. If you haven't played either of NHL 2000 or NHL 2001, but you have played NHL Hockey and NHL PA 93, these move to the next round, but these won't move to the next round since you haven't played either of those, so they move to the next round again. So I think I've explained enough. According to Bandicam, I have recorded for 5 minutes already, just explaining the damn rules. So anyways, let's get down to business, so shall we? Let's do this NHL video game bracket challenge, and of course my webcam is covering most of the screen, so we have to zoom in order to see everything. So, let us begin. NHL Hockey or NHL PA 93. Of course I have tried both, but it feels like NHL PA 93 seems to be the more refined game, so it moves on to the next round. Let's do Arial instead. Or wait, there we go. Let's type in 93, because it is NHL Hockey 93 right there. Okay, next one. NHL 2000 or NHL 2001. Okay, well, I have tried both versions of NHL 2001, the PS1, the PS2 version. Of course, I prefer the PS2 version of NHL 2001. And throw in your pitchforks, I don't like NHL 2000 at all. It's one of the worst NHL games I have played, because you know, it's because I have frame rate issues on NHL 2000, and the players bounce for some reason. However, I think it's a PlayStation 2 backwards compatibility emulation problem. Well, if you didn't know, the PS2 can play PS1 games. And of course, I don't have a PS1, so the only way I can play NHL 2000 is on my PS2. But if I played it on original hardware, then I think these frame rate and bouncing issues wouldn't happen. But as of right now, NHL 2001 moved to the next round. Next matchup, 08 and 09. Well, these can go either way, but I'm gonna refer to their next-gen counterparts. And even for the next-gen or the old-gen, I still prefer, for both generations, NHL 09 over 08. Because NHL 09 was the game that introduced BIA Pro and EA SHL, so it's a landmark title. NHL 16 or NHL 17. Well, both are very identical, but I feel like NHL 17 is the more refined game, and it has more features as well. You can create custom teams again. It has an EA tracks on the menu again, and of course the soundtrack sucks. If you are a long-time viewer of my channel, you know how much I hate modern NHL games, but you know, yeah. Anyway. NHL 96 or NHL 97. Well, I haven't tried the PC version of NHL 96, so I don't know what to say about it. But I have played the PS1 version of NHL 97 and the SNES version of NHL 97. It can go either way, but I think 96 has more charm than 97 in my opinion. So 96 moves to the next round. 96 and 97 are pretty identical, so yeah. Well, this first matchup are, you know, just 1 year apart. 2004-2005. Well, if you're a long-time player of this whole series, you know exactly which one is better. Why is 2004 better than 2005? Even though 2005 is the newer one. Well, the biggest problem with 2005, it took a lot of features out of 2004. I mean, you know, features that were in 2004 was taken out in NHL 2005. For example, you can't even create players in 2005. Like, what the fuck? That's like a main thing you can do in NHL games. And then, of course, in NHL 2004, you could have favorite teams, which you can have in NHL games nowadays. And in NHL 2004, you can even customize your GM's office in franchise mode, which was called Dynasty mode back then. But seriously, you could customize your freaking office, your GM's office. That was pretty exciting. And then, of course, before NHL 17, NHL 2004 was the only NHL game where you could create an arena for your custom team. So that's that. NHL 12 and 13. This is a tough one. This is a very tough one since they're both pretty identical. NHL 13's gameplay seems to be better than 12, but I like NHL 12's soundtrack and atmosphere better than 13, so 12 and 13 is a tough matchup. So I don't know which one to pick. Now that I think about it, I think the 13 is the more refined game because, well, games are meant to be played, and NHL 13 has the better gameplay over 12. And as you can see, NHL 13 doesn't have a matchup in this round, so they automatically move to the third round. However, that will change once NHL 20 comes out. Now we move to the other side. NHL 94 or 95. Well, if you're a NHL fanatic or a hardcore NHL player who has played since the 90s, you know exactly which one moves forward. It's the iconic NHL 94. Except for my opinion. I actually prefer 95 over 94 if you didn't know. I like the graphics in 95. You could create players in 95. I'm pretty sure you could play a whole season in 95, which you couldn't play in 94. However, the only thing I prefer in 94 over 95 is the music. NHL 95 has pretty forgettable music in it. But as of right now, I prefer 95 over 94. Get your pitchforks in at me. Whatever. NHL 2002 or 2003. Well, both are very identical. They have very identical features. They look identical. The only difference I can really think of between NHL 2002 and 2003 is that they have different soundtracks, obviously, as every year have. I'm not sure, but they're both they're very similar. I don't think if there's even any differences at all. Oh wait, there is. NHL 2003 was the first game where you could move your stick around, move your hockey stick around manually with the right analog stick. So NHL 2003 was basically the first game with somewhat of a beta version of skill stick. So just because of that, NHL 2003 moves to the next round. NHL 10 or NHL 11. Well, again, like with NHL 2002 and 2003, both are very identical. NHL 11 has the better soundtrack. NHL 11 also introduced Hockey Ultimate Team, which is an okay mode. But I still find more enjoyment out of NHL 10 than NHL 11. It's probably nostalgia since I had NHL 10 when it came out, but didn't have NHL 11 when that came out. So I'm more nostalgia biased for NHL 10. That's why I prefer 10 over 11. NHL 18 or 19. Well, if you're a modern NHL gamer, you know exactly that 19 is better than 18. Thanks to the whole new gameplay mechanic, the RPM skating system, the whole return of collision physics, it's just amazing. NHL 19 is a fun game. I love it. 98 or 99. I have one reason why I prefer 99 over 98. David Bowie. That intro for NHL 99 is just fucking amazing. But then again, 99 and 98 are very identical. But I still prefer 99 over 98 just because of the fucking intro. Even though 98's intro was pretty badass as well. 06 and 07. Again, I'm gonna be nostalgia biased for this one, because 06 was the first NHL game I had, so how can I not leave it out for the next round? So yeah, I'm biased. NHL 14 or NHL 15. Well, again, like with the rule, it can be console specific, so I'm gonna talk about the PS3 version of NHL 15 rather than the PS4 version, as we know. If I did talk about the PS4 version of NHL 15, NHL 14 would automatically go to the next round. But if we talk about the PS3 version, well, both are identical. The menus look exactly the same. The gameplay is slightly tweaked in NHL 15, but some of the features, like there's a bug in Create a Team, which I don't like. That was not in NHL 14. Then, of course, NHL 15, even on old gen, had Mike Emrick and Eddie Olczyk commentating. However, I prefer Gary Thorne and Bill Clement, so that's why, even on the old gen, NHL 14 moves on. And because the NHL 14 doesn't have an opponent on this round, it automatically goes to the next round. So finally, we get to the next matchup, round 2. NHL 93 or NHL 2001. Well, NHL 93 is a classic. NHL 2001 is very slow paced. I'm gonna say NHL 93. So it moves on. Or NHL PA 93, what it's actually called. Whatever. I'm gonna call it NHL 93. NHL 09 or NHL 17. Well, again, nostalgia. NHL 09 moves on. I mean, 09, not... Did I say 19? I'm not sure. 09. It's 09. Even though NHL 17 did make a return of Creator Arena, whatever. NHL 09 just moves on because of nostalgia. NHL 2004 or NHL 96. Come on. GM's office, Creator Arena, just beautiful. NHL 2004 is a classic. It just moves on. Then we go to the other side. NHL 95 or 2003. Well, again, I prefer 95 over 94 because of the modes it had. Even though NHL 94 is in its iconic status, and it would probably be the best game in the series, but no, it just isn't. In my opinion, I prefer 2003 over 95. Well, this is more of a nostalgia thing. I love collecting those NHL cards things. I usually come back to NHL 2003 just for fuck's sake. 10 or 19. I gotta admit, I love NHL 19. It's a very fun game. And NHL 19 is usually the game if I ever want fun hockey action, I usually go to NHL 19. Even though NHL 10 is very nostalgic, you can't just hate on NHL 19, it's just fun. Well, the only thing I don't like about NHL is the fucking soundtrack. Make NHL soundtracks great again. 99 or 06. Again, 99 had David Bowie. NHL 06 was my first game in the series. Both are nostalgic to me, but you can't beat the original. The original first game you ever had. You can't just hate it. NHL 06 moves on. Now we get to the division finals. As I divided all these games into divisions, Division 1, Division 2, etc. The Division 1 finals, 93 or 09. For this one, I prefer 09 over 93 since it's a classic. Even though 93 is also a classic. NHL 9 just was a game changer when it had all those Be a Pro and the ASHL introduced for the first time. It was just amazing. 2004 or 13. Oh crap. Both of these games are just amazing. They are very amazing and are very nostalgic to me. But then again, GM's office. NHL 2004 moves on. And I also forgot to mention about one thing about NHL 2004 is that it has the modding community where you can basically do anything you want in NHL 2004, the PC version. If you mod the game, it's the possibilities are almost endless. It's just amazing. Division 3 finals, NHL 2003 or NHL 19. Well, with these old NHL games, the gameplay also starts to age a little bit. And NHL 2003 is not necessarily the most fun to play NHL game. The controls feels clunky. It's very sluggish. NHL 19 is NHL 19's gameplay is very refined and yeah, RPM. That's the main reason why I like NHL 19 so much. NHL 06 or 04 or 14. Holy shit. Well, both are, as of their respective generations. NHL 06 was the last NHL game exclusively for PS2, Xbox One generation, you know. And NHL 14 was the last NHL game exclusively for PS3 and Xbox 360. So they're kind of the last resort games for the respective generations. So which one accomplished more? Well, from a technical standpoint, NHL 14 accomplished much more than NHL 06. But I'm gonna be nostalgia biased. I just love NHL 06. It's just nostalgia. So, and then again, you can make your own version if you don't agree with me. So, if you want to make your favorite NHL games from a technical standpoint, you can do that. Just download the PNG from the description below, whatever. This is just my opinion. The conference finals, NHL 09 or 2004. Wow, these games are still, you know, identical. Well, I don't know if I should call them identical. I'm not sure. They're very different. Identical. Depends on the version. Well, I'm just gonna ask my child which one I liked more. Well, from what I remember from my childhood, I always enjoyed playing NHL 2004 over NHL 09. And then again, GM's office. NHL 2004 goes to the finals because of the GM's office Create Arena, and then of course the modding community. NHL 19 or 06. This is a tough one. I like playing both games. I play NHL 19 when I just want fun hockey action, and I always go back to NHL 06 for nostalgia reasons. Whatever, I'm gonna be very critical now. If you look from a critical standpoint, NHL 19 is better than 06. Mainly due to the gameplay. However, you could do the lacrosse move in NHL 06, which was very epic. The only entry in the series where you could do the lacrosse move. And then NHL 06 came with NHL 94. And it had the NHL free-for-all mode. But NHL 19 kind of has a similar thing called NHL ones. But yeah. And now, we're in the finals. At last, after 24 minutes of recording, we're now in the finals, and we will determine which one is the greatest NHL game of all time. So, 2004 or NHL 19. 15 years apart. Which one is the better game? From a feature standpoint, NHL 2001 wins in this category. But from a gameplay standpoint, NHL 19 wins. So which one is the better game? I'd say 2004. It's thanks to all the features it has and the whole modding community. Amazing soundtrack. We just figured out which one is the greatest NHL game of all time, and we just did it. The greatest NHL game of all time is NHL 2004. So this is my whole bracket. This is the whole thing. So, thanks for watching. If you want to make your own version, download the PNG, edit in Paint, Paint.net, Photoshop, whatever. Do whatever hell you want. So, I kind of want this to become a similar popular trend that the Disney bracket was last year, but still, I recommend doing this if you have played at least at least um, at least one game out of each division. Like, of course, if you're a newer player, you probably played NHL, either NHL 16 or 17, NHL 12 or 13. You know, I recommend if you have played at least doing this, if you have at least played 2 games out of each division. But other than that, do whatever the hell you want. So thanks for watching, and I hope, and then we could start the hashtag EA NHL bracket, so I can also come check out your version of the whole bracket thing. So, see ya.